What's up guys, JNO here. Yeah, when you're as big as I am in the FPL world, you get the girls giving you nicknames. Are you really going to go with that as your intro? Yeah, I thought it was kind of good. To be honest, I think it makes you look like a bit of a... What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today in association with FPL Updates, your website for FPL hints and tips as well as articles and the website home of FPL Today. And before we get into looking towards the double game week 34 and back at game week 33, what are your plans for this double game week? Leave it in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation about what we've all been waiting for this double game week. Feels like I've been planning for it for ages. Anyway, we'll quickly go over my score because I kind of feel like I'm here to help you guys more than I am to talk about how I'm doing. So my points for the game week were 60 points with an average for the game week being 46, so that's 14 above it. Highest score was 110. My total points is now at 1,864. My game week rank was just over 500,000. My overall rank has dropped just below 20k. And my JNO Classic rank is now 37th with first place in the FPL Updates Writers League and in the FPL Updates Classic League, which you can get a £400 cash prize in. I'm 507th. So yeah, no closer to that money. My mistake for the game week was probably bringing in Origi because he's only going to be there for one game week as I try and make the most of this double game week. I also forgot to take the captain armband off of Jamie Vardy and put it on the very popular captain choice of Romelu Lukaku. But fortunately for me, that turned out well. If we look at the dream team of the week, it would have got you 125 points without a captain. What I'd like to talk about is the return of Vincent Kompany. We all know how good a defender he is, but he's been so injury prone recently that we've not been seeing him get in the dream team of the week. But here he is this week. Hopefully next year he can remain injury free and we can get the points off of him. Jagielka is also showing himself as probably one of the better Everton defender choices, when usually the argument is between Baines and Seamus Coleman. We have two Stoke players getting in a dream team of the week with Arnautovic and Shaqiri both getting in. If they could just be consistent, the likes of Shaqiri and Arnautovic would be great choices for FPL. Parts of the season last year and this year, they were just fantastic. Firmino is also showing some good consistency recently that I was going on about at the start of this season and he didn't really get results from. But he's now getting the points, and so Firmino could be a great option for your FPL teams. And then Harry Kane is back with a vengeance. He just seems really in form. Whilst everyone is looking at Ibra, Benteke and Negredo, can we afford to ignore Harry Kane leading a Tottenham side that seem unstoppable at the moment? So my star of the week, it is a Tottenham player, but it's not Harry Kane. It's actually, for the second week in a row, Heung-min Son. 7.1 million. He's managed to score one goal this game week, but he had 5 attempts on goal, 3 of which were on target, chances every 18.8 minutes, and he created 4 chances himself. He's the cheapest Tottenham option that seems to be scoring points. There is a rotation risk, but each time he starts, I start to feel like he's more likely to remain a first team player. We now move on to the hot list and we start off with the goalkeepers, and Wayne Hennessy is keeping the #1 spot just. His fixtures don't look great, but he is in good form and that means he could get quite a few save points, and if he gets a sneaky clean sheet in the double game week, you could be looking at some good points from Wayne Hennessy. Fraser Foster and Tom Heaton are also in form goalkeeping choices at the moment, but Wayne Hennessy comes in at #1 at 4.3 million. In the last 4 appearances, he's got 1 clean sheet and conceded 6 goals, making 17 saves in total. Now it is Liverpool and Tottenham in the next 2, but then he has Burnley, Man City, Hull and Man United. There should be plenty of opportunity for him to get a lot of save points. It may seem like a big risk, but any clean sheet when you're making that many saves could get you a lot of points. We then move on to the defenders, and Ben Gibson is remaining in the #1 spot because of the double game week and because Bournemouth and Sunderland look like 2 fixtures that Middlesbrough could get clean sheets in. Yoshida is coming in second, with Patrick Van Aanholt with the double game week coming in 3rd because of his potential to actually get some assists or goals. But Ben Gibson coming in at 5 million with 4 appearances has managed to get 2 clean sheets and has only conceded 6 goals. Next 2, like I said, are Bournemouth and Sunderland. Then it does get a bit more difficult with the likes of Man City, Chelsea, Southampton and Liverpool, but if you've still got your wild card, that is not an issue. Moving on to the midfielders, and there were 3 great options for the number 1 spot in Eriksen and Heung-min Son, but I've gone with Dele Alli as the best Tottenham choice, with Eden Hazard and Roberto Firmino filling out the midfield hot list. Dele Alli now coming in at 9.2 million. He's got 4 appearances in the last 4 game weeks, so he's pretty nailed on. 2 goals, 2 assists, 12 attempts on goal, 3 on target with 8 chances created and a goal involvement of a third. His fixtures coming up are Crystal Palace and Arsenal, then West Ham, Man United, Leicester and Hull. So it's a bit of a mix, but Spurs are chasing Chelsea and seem very in form. So I can see Tottenham getting goals in all of those games. And then finally we move on to the forwards, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic would seem like the logical choice. But my gut says Harry Kane is going to score a lot of goals coming into the end of this game week. So Harry Kane is at the top of my hot list, just beating out Zlatan Ibrahimovic and then Christian Benteke in third. Harry Kane comes in at 11.5 million and he's managed to get 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 4 game weeks. He's only just come back from injury though. He's had 7 shots on goal with 4 on targets and a minute per chance of 16. Shot accuracy is at 57.1% and his goal involvement is at 66.7%. So that wraps up the hot list. Is there anyone you think I've missed? If there is, leave it in the comments down below. We can talk about it down there. And now let's look forward to this double game week. Okay, so looking at the fixtures, and we are going, of course, look at the games where teams have more than 1 fixture in the game week. We're starting off with Bournemouth versus Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough defensive coverage seems important this game week, but apart from Ben Gibson, is there anyone really nailed on? Barragan has played the majority of games recently. Middlesbrough also need points though, so they could be going for goal a bit more. Maybe they won't be as defensively solid, but I think Middlesbrough cover is important for this double game week. And their second game is against Sunderland, and Sunderland seem pretty dire at the moment. They're in bad form. Borough will want to get a win here to make sure they have the chance to survive. I think this is the one that is most likely to be a clean sheet, but they could get clean sheets in both of these games. We then have West Ham versus Everton. Neither side have the double game week, but Lukaku loves a goal against West Ham, and West Ham's defence looks shoddy, so dumping Lukaku could be risky, despite the fact he's only got 1 game this game week. We then have Burnley versus Manchester United. Manchester United again a side with a double game week. Unfortunately, their first game is against Burnley at home, and Burnley are quite resilient at home, but I feel like Man United are really pushing on at the end of this season, and they're rotating and still winning, as you can tell from the Chelsea game. So potentially, there could be some good choices here if you can predict who will start both games. Popular choices like Valencia, Mkhitaryan and Ibra though have all been rested recently, so this could be a risky game to try and get those points from. Fortunately, the other tie for Manchester United is against Manchester City away, and I think this game will see the strongest lineup put out because it is Manchester City. Ibra has said he wants to play in this game, so at least you know that the good players should, or the first team players should play in this fixture, but it is a difficult one. Who knows which way that game could go. We then have Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace being one of the sides with a double game week. However, Palace do have Liverpool and then Tottenham Hotspurs. Whilst I don't see him winning either of those fixtures, and that's why only Wayne Hennessy is a suggestion because of the amount of saves he might make, I do see Palace as a side capable of scoring goals against Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspurs. So the likes of Zaha, Townsend and Benteke could bring in points this double game week. And then Chelsea need a win against Southampton at Stamford Bridge to try and keep Spurs at bay. As it's at Stamford Bridge, I reckon Hazard is a great pick. Gabbiadini coming back is something to watch out for, but I personally see Chelsea picking up the result in this one. So we now look at the captain poll for the game week, and at the moment Zlatan Ibrahimovic is coming out on top because of the double game week. He's got the calibre to score goals in both of those games, so that is why he's clearly at the number 1 slot. Harry Kane comes in second, beating out Christian Benteke, despite the fact he doesn't have a double game week. But my captain choice on the safe side is what I'd suggest. It might not be what I do, but it is what I suggest. Zlatan Ibrahimovic as the captain choice of the week. 11.4 million in his last 4 game weeks. He's got 2 goals, goal involvement of 75%, 6 attempts on goal, 3 on target with a shot accuracy of 50% and a goal conversion of 33.3%. And the differential of the week is also in the top 3 of the captain rankings. Christian Benteke coming in at 7.2 million. As of recording this, he has an ownership of 9.1%, and in the last 4 game weeks he's got 3 goals and 1 assist, so he could be bringing in some big points for you in this game week despite the opponents. And then the red herring to finish off this episode is rotation. That Man United Chelsea game threw a spanner in a lot of people's plans because Ibra clearly got dropped against the top of the table team for Rashford. So rotation is a massive risk going into this double game week and double game week 37. So try and figure out who's going to play in the Premiership fixtures. Manchester United could be a really hard one to predict. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the show as always. Please make sure to hit that like button to support the channel and subscribe if you're new. Go check out my Patreon page if you want to support me making this show. I've been JNO, you guys have been awesome, and it's all about the game.